Hi, everybody. It's Jill here with Illuminating Women, and today is our Friday Lunch and Learn, an opportunity to grab your lunch, sit down with your sisters, get connected, and learn something that's so important to help you illuminate your life. Because we all know that when we work on our personal growth, it helps our professional success that much greater. Well, as you know, we've been taking on topics to help us navigate through these difficult times. And today I just kept feeling, this divine presence telling me, call Esther, ask Esther to come. I have known Esther for a few years, and she has been an enormous guiding light. And the reason that I'm still even doing Illuminating Women today is because she just came to me and just spoke to my soul. And it just helped me make that decision I needed to make to take Illuminating Women further. And then I got this beautiful opportunity with a bunch of other people and my husband and my son to go with Esther on a spiritual journey through Egypt, which was a game-changing opportunity that is still it's helping me even to deal with the 2020 as it is today. So I asked Esther to come in because it's 2 weeks we're going to have our conference. I asked her to come in and just talk about the changes that we're going through and how to navigate that, and just to get to touch into our divine presence. This beautiful, beautiful woman will light up this world, and I am so grateful she's here. So Esther, thank you again for saying yes. And she is now a reverend, which is so exciting. She worked hard and got her certificate, and maybe she'll share a little bit about that. But I've asked Esther to come and just talk a little bit about herself, what she does, and then just to illuminate our lives and help fill our soul tanks today so we can carry on through this next part of the quarter. So, all right, Esther, without further ado, thank you so much for coming, and please share away.
Thank you, Jill. Thank you. I think I wish I could just kind of put you in my pocket and carry you with me. That introduction was amazing. You made me excited about me. Thank you. Thank you so much. I am a reverend. I was ordained this year through Interfaith, through One Spirit, out of New York, as an interfaith, interspiritual minister, which means we acknowledge and respect all walks of religious and spiritual beliefs. There are many paths to the mountaintop, and so we honor them all. I'm a spiritual life coach. I've been a spiritual life coach for over 13 years. That is my passion. I'm a speaker, I'm an author, I'm a mother, and I am a grandmother. And when we move through this transition that we're in, I will also be doing trips once again to Egypt. But Jill has been an amazing friend and companion, and I just love the work that she's doing with the women in this area. And now she's branching out across the nation. Everyone is in need. So today I want to just share a little bit about change, because people tend to get discombobulated when change starts to happen. And we are in the midst of a great change. Everything is changing, and I know it can be disconcerting for people. Change represents a new direction, something becoming different. It's an interruption from the norm, and to a lot of people, it's the unknown, which can become very frightening. I'd like to give you a quote by La Chu. Life is a series of natural and spontaneous changes. Don't resist them. That only creates sorrow. Let reality be reality. Let things flow naturally forward in whatever way they like. That's something we have to think about. Everything is in constant motion. Everything is changing, fluxing, and flowing of energy and force. Life is a beautiful, graceful dance flowing through the cosmos. Nothing is constant but change. And that's what I think we forget. Everything is changed. The universe is constantly expanding and contracting, expanding and contracting. But the changes are so small, we don't notice them. One of my favorite teachers that I just really study quite often is Ernest Holmes. And he says, we are born to be happy, to be abundantly supplied with everything, to have fun in living, to consciously unite with the divine power that is around us and within us, and grow and expand forever. When we are in times like this, we forget the little things that help us to stay grounded. This is a time that it's like everything is coming to a point. We have racial unrest, we have the COVID virus, we got fires, we got hurricanes. All these things are coming together, creating the perfect storm. But in reality, it's creating the opportunity for us to get it right, for us to begin to respect this beautiful rock that we live on that's called Mother Earth. We have done so much damage. And by us being shedding, and I know we look at this, how did this happen? Nothing happens by chance. The universe is exact in everything that it does. Us being shed in allowed the air to clear, allowed the sea to begin to get clear, where there's not a lot of pollution and stuff happening. So the dolphins and the fish and everything could come back. Mother Earth is getting a chance to breathe. Even though these fires are going on, the trees are still giving off oxygen. They're still doing what they need to do to help us breathe. If the trees didn't give oxygen, we couldn't breathe. So we have to realize that we are a part of all of this ecosystem. That's part of the change that's happening. The racial unrest. What we're looking at today started over 400 years ago. And we have to go back and look at our history so we can understand, how do we fix this? We cannot fix something that we don't understand. And we have to go back to the beginning and look at the truth of what is happening. This did not just come last week or last year or even 10 years ago. It happened over 400 years ago. So we have to go back and do that. This virus that we're dealing with, it's almost like everyone is like, is it real? Is it not real? We, as a race of people, have to come together and realize, when we are faced with changes like this, stop and realize everything is always changing. How are we going to face this together? We're all in this ship together. We're all on this rock together. There are 4 things that happen when we embrace change. And that's where we have to be, is embrace this instead of fighting against it, resisting. When we resist, it will persist. Anything you resist persists. So stop. Look at the change. Look at the chaos around us. And instead of focusing on what's bad about it, let's try to find some solutions. Let's put our attention on, how can we make this better? How can we work our way through it? What are the possibilities on the other side? Because what you put your attention to expands. So if we're looking at and focusing on all the terrible things that are happening, oh, this is so bad, look at how bad this is, we're going to get more of that. We're going to get more of that. So even with the fires that are happening, even with the hurricanes that are happening, in the midst of that, there is what I call the 3 B's: blessings, beauty, and what is my 3rd B? Blessings, beauty, and benefit. We always learn and benefit from these type of situations, but we get so stuck in looking at what's bad, what we're losing, what's changing. oh, I want it to be like it always was. How come we can't go back to the old way? That's your ego. And that's the ego's job, to keep things status quo, to keep things familiar, to keep you in what you have always been. And so you're going to have those thoughts. You're going to have those desires. And sometimes, if you're not careful, those thoughts, those desires will take over your life and you become immobilized. And that's not where you want to be. If you can remember that one sentence, nothing is constant in life but change. Everything is always changing. We may not see the changes because they're so minute, so small. You don't see them until enough of them happen, and then you have a big disruption. But even in that, as I said, look for the good. Jill told me when we were talking before that she said her word for this year is surrender. That is one of the most powerful words that you can incorporate in your life. When you can surrender what you cannot handle to the universe, just let it go and trust that you're going to come out on this other side okay. Because the universe only has good for us. It's never going to be worse unless you choose it, because your success is limited by your vision. And if your vision is that it's going to be, oh my God, I'm not going to make it, I'm not going to live, then that's what the universe is going to give you. But if you can lift your thoughts, if you can lift your consciousness and know that God only has good for you, you just have to claim and accept it and surrender to that. Surrender to that knowing that you're going to come out on the other side okay. You're going to come out on the other side whole, healthy. There's 4 things happen when you embrace change. 1, in your body, you begin to ward off sickness and disease because you're not bracing yourself against something you can't stop. You can't stop change. It's going to happen. So your body is no longer in that fight or flight mode, because when you stay at that hyper mode, you begin to deteriorate in your body. You begin to create disease because you are diseased in your mind. So it shows up as disease in your body. 2, in your mind, when you embrace change, you release stress, worry, and anxiety. Emotionally, number 3, emotionally, you can be at peace and find serenity in your life because you're going with the flow and trusting the universe instead of resisting. And 4, once you accept change, you then can decide how that change takes place and or how it will affect your life. You're not caught off guard anymore, and you don't have to be a victim of it. Because then you can begin to see the choices that are before you. But if you're spending all your time resisting and saying, no, oh my God, I don't like this, you cannot see what's before you. So what we must learn to do is to be conscious, to live in the present moment. Every day, consciously think about what you want your day to be, how you want it to unfold. Look at how you want to show up in the world, how you want your light to shine. We are light beings, although we are in these dense bodies. Through this transition, I truly believe that more and more of us will allow that light to shine so that we can begin to create this world in a way that is just, that is loving, that is inclusive for all of us, for all of us. We look around and you see this person there and that person, and we seem to be separate, but we're not. We're all connected by that one mind, that one power, that one source, which is called the universe. We are all divine expressions of that universe. We are points of experience. We are how the universe experiences itself. And so we are all, it's like we're all cups of the ocean, you know, cups of water out of the ocean, but we're all the ocean. And so during this time of change, I know that for some people, it's very difficult to find ways to cope with it, being shut in by themselves, especially if they have no family or they are alone, they're not married, and they're in their homes all by themselves. It can be difficult, but we're never alone. We're always connected to the source. And you know, people look at me and they think, oh, she is such an extrovert. But let me share with you, I am enjoying this time alone in my home. I am enjoying myself. And I didn't think I would, because I've always had someone live with me, but I'm alone now. And it's just the most amazing time. And I know it's because of how I'm looking at this change. I know this is necessary. We could no longer continue the path that we were going, continue the things that were happening. This is like a grand stop. And the change is coming about. If we embrace this, if we get on board and begin to look, what is mine to do? Ask the universe, what is mine to do in all this? We all have a part to play, or we wouldn't be here. We all have something to contribute. We all have gifts that we haven't used yet. And it is during this change that they can be brought to the surface, that they can be brought forth so that we can all help one another as we move through this change. One of the things that I personally started doing, especially when they started, I just started calling people, just checking in. People I hadn't talked to in a long time. I want to make sure you're okay. If you need to talk, I'm here. Because I have the capacity to do that. I want people to know, just because I don't see you don't mean I don't think of you. That's part of a change for me, because normally I don't. But that was something that I chose to step outside of myself and do. Find what is yours to do during this change.
So, Jill, I want to just say one thing. Because Esther's face needs to be seen. The recording is only showing yours, Jill. And so let us see Esther.
I could have told you that, Jill. I didn't.
Yes, Esther, you're beautiful and your words are beautiful, and we want to see the whole package. I'm seeing you because I've got my view changed, but there. Okay. There you go, girl.
Oh, you know what? Yeah, can you see me now? Okay, good. So as I was saying, ask what is yours to do. What is yours to do during this time of change and transition? One of the things, again, as I said, be conscious, live consciously. Don't just continue moving through your life automatically. And we tend to do that as humans. We get up, we brush our teeth, wash our face, take a shower, whatever your routine is. And then if you're working from home, you're right into your office but be conscious. Think about how you want your day to unfold. Think about whose lives you want to touch. Think about what you want to see unfold in your life. Change can be very uncomfortable, as I said, but the key is to embrace it and to remember there's nothing constant but change. Okay, Jill, do you want to open it up to questions and answers?
Yeah, I do. And oh my gosh, that was just so good. And I wish somebody would have, sent me a little message on the chat, darn it, because I thought I had it just right. And I was seeing her and I wasn't seeing me. And usually,
I was seeing you.
Oh my gosh, I feel horrible about that.
It's
So,
okay.
Esther, one of the things I wanted to ask you, because the energy in the universe and the things that are happening, and because as an African American woman, and all of a sudden we're having this huge light, and I've been having more connections with my African American sisters, and hearing on a deeper spot from them. And I have heard over and over from them, which was just something huge with the feminine that has come forward, that when George Floyd was being killed, he cried out to his mother. I heard a scream from these from Black women who said that I cried, all of them. They don't even know each other. And I cried for 10 days straight. I cried for 10 days straight. Something happened that cut in there, that woke up white people, that woke up a whole lot of people, right, what was going on. Can you share a little bit, because that was a pivotal change, because we've been seeing these stories for a while. Oh, that's horrible. But now all of a sudden, horrid became into action.
Let me tell you what I think happened there. One of the things, George Floyd's mother transitioned already. She's dead. And I think what happens when he stepped in between the worlds, he could see her. And I think that's why he was calling his mother, because he was transitioning. And when, this is my belief, and I'm not pushing on anyone else, but I believe that when we cross over out of this flesh, we have familiar souls that have transitioned that will meet us. And so I think that's what was happening for him. Now, to the question of what changed, the fact that we were all sheltered in our homes and we looked on that TV and saw that man murdered. Before, most people didn't see it. You know, they would see it later and they're going on about their lives. But we had nothing to do but see it. And I think that was part of the shift in what we needed to see in order for people to wake up and say, if we are humans and we have humanity, this is not okay. It must stop. The other piece of it is, I think the millennials and the generations behind the millennials, they are more evolved spiritually, and they don't see the world the way we see it. They see it in a way where they know they are all connected. They know it. They know that love is love. It doesn't matter if it's black, white, male, female. They don't. Love is love. And so that's why I think we see the protests looking like a rainbow, because these are rainbow children, they're crystal children, they're indigo children, all coming together saying, this is not okay. We don't want a world that looks like this. We don't want to live in this kind of world. And so that's the change. If we had not all been sheltered in our homes, it would have just been another, and they could have explained it away, but we all were sitting and watching this horror, and we didn't have anything else to do but process it. And it woke up the humanity in us all to say, this is not okay. and it's never been okay. So that's what I think is the difference. The other piece, I think, is giving us an opportunity to correct this wrong, to uncover the lies that we have built this country on. And I think I was telling you, Bill, I've done a 6-series workshop that I'm going to present at CSL that takes you from the beginning of this country and the history that has been rewritten and the revisionists and all the things that have happened. Because if once people understand the truth of what it really was, then it can be fixed. It's not about taking away from anybody. It's about helping everyone to understand. We as a people, Black people, we have healing that must be done that no one else can help us do but ourselves. Just as white people have healing that they must do. When you understand the full magnitude of what we have hidden under, you know, that we've hidden under the institutes that we've built, you'll understand why this is so different. But this is an opportunity for us to create a paradise that I believe is possible here on earth. Whether I'm here or not, I know it's possible. These children know that it's possible. And that's why they're willing to be on that front line and say, no, no more. Does that answer your question? Kind of?
Yeah, no, it does. And I just, you know, I think it pays to have you repeat again just the few words about how we can stay stuck if we're not going to embrace the change, and how that affects our bodies.
Oh yeah. What
we focus on, we'll find. And because we can get caught up in, oh my gosh, how am I going to pay that bill? How am I going to do this? You know, and we can start going down here. So what are some questions and things we can get ourselves out of that to embrace?
Well, I want to go back to what you said, surrender. Surrender. Anything, and I could tell you story after story because I lived my life from a place of abundance. I know we live in an abundant universe. And whether I have that money here in my hand or not, I know it's coming, okay? I have not worked for anyone since 2003, and I stepped out on faith because I knew the job that I was working on was killing me. It was taking my life force. I mean, they were paying me good money, but it was costing me my life force because I wasn't doing what I love to do. So yeah, bills are gonna come, situations are gonna come, especially during this time, but surrender it to that higher self. What's the worst that could happen? Even if you're put out of doors, long as you have breath, you can recover. There is nothing in this universe, nothing in this material world that is worth more than your sanity and your health. If you have your health and you have your sanity, you can recoup any of this material stuff. None of it is worth your health. So when you are resisting and you are stressing and you are anxious and you're in that fight, your mind is at dis-ease, and dis-ease create disease in the body. Dis-ease in the mind creates dis-ease in the body. You have a choice. Any moment you can make another choice. Any moment. And let me tell you, this is something else I've learned through living. The moment I was willing to give it all up, that's when I was able to have it all. Once I gave it all up, the universe said, okay, not a problem, I got you. But as long as you're resisting and you're trying to do it and you're pulling and the universe is like, okay, well, she got this. Let's see what she could do with it. The moment you surrender it, mighty forces will come to aid you. People will show up that you never expected to give you that helping hand. So, yeah, it's hard for some people because of the way that we're raised. You know, you got to save, you got to have this, you got to have that, you got to da. Sometimes you've got to lose your mind to gain your freedom. And when I say lose your mind, lose all that stuff that you've been taught, all that, what you must do, what your shoulds and your coulds, and trust that the universe got you, because we live in an unlimited universe and there's more than enough. There is more than enough. I mean, just look at nature. Do you see the birds running around trying to get jobs and stuff? No, the universe, the nature takes care of them. You think that God thought any less of us, his greatest creations? Really? That he won't take care of us? Really? We're the one that created all these crazy institutions, and we work ourselves into the ground until we, 60, 70 years old. And then when we retire, we're too sick to even enjoy our retirement. And we only have maybe 5 or 6 years to live because we've worked ourselves to death. And that institution is still there and somebody else took your place. Really, this is stuff we've created. This is not how the universe works. Do what you love. Find your gift. Find your purpose. This is a good time to do that. During this great transition, this is a perfect time to ask, what is mine to do? Be willing to step into the void and know that the universe will hold you up.
Woo! Man, I just got preached to. I feel like, yes. So I'm going to stop our recording. And again, I apologize. You got to see my mug instead of the beautiful Esther. But just, close your eyes and just listen to Esther until Esther comes on, because just to see her moving too and preaching is just beautiful. Esther, if somebody wanted to reach out to you, how can they find you?
I am on Facebook under Esther Jones, and then I have a fan page, which is Esther Jones Alley. My website is estherjones-alley.com. I'm on Instagram. I'm on LinkedIn. I'm on YouTube. I'm everywhere. And my phone number is 206-355-0306. You can reach out to me and I will answer. If I'm not available, leave a message and I will call you back. But that's how I can be reached. And you can find my book on Amazon, which is A Centered Life, A Spiritual Life Journey. And you can also find it on my fan page on Facebook. You can order from there and then you get an autographed copy. It's on Esther Jones Alley on Facebook. That's my fan page, and you can order the book from there.
Yeah, and it's an excellent book. I highly recommend it. I really liked it because she dives into her story too, which gives you a little more understanding. Well, ladies, let's just stay on the call here. We're gonna stop the recording so that we can dive a little bit deeper. And I just want to again honor and thank Esther for the message we needed to hear this day that helps us illuminate our way forward. So just keep checking us out on illuminatingwomen.com. And now I see that there were chats. Oh, now I see the chats that came to me. That my chat bar didn't show up. Anyway, I want to thank everybody again. Check us out on illuminatingwomen.com and take care, everybody. Bye-bye.